Hi, hello and welcome my friends. End of 2020 right now. You know what time it is? Correct, state of the collection time. Let's go! Being totally honest with you, there are not big changes in my collection actually. And because of that, I'm going to make this state of the collection review a little bit more different to the others I did through the last years. We're just going to talk about the watches I did really wear in 2020 in the order of the most to the least risk time. Also, we're going to discuss the watches I do consider for 2021 and I really need your help. First, please give me a feedback. What do you think about my current work collection? And additionally, I would like to have your recommendations which watch I could add in 2021. I'm really not able to tell you why exactly I wore this particular heavyweight the most in this year. With a full polished case and bracelet, 300 meters of water resistance, double anti-reflective coated sapphire crystal winged logo. Of course I'm talking about my Breitling Avenger 43mm chronograph with a beautiful dial. Especially on the bracelet is the most fun to wear. Because the case itself is heavy and high, but I think the steel bracelet is a nice counterweight. I as well do have the Ocean Racer rubber strap, but I prefer it still on the bracelet. The rubber strap is nice for the summer anyways. I think the perfect Breitling, a nice watch and right now pretty comfortable on my wrist. The most boring watch in my collection, so to say. Let's talk about my Omega Speedmaster Professional Double Sapphire Sandwich, and also a watch I did wear pretty often this year. The only beef I have with the Speedy is the crown, which is far too small for a manual windable chronograph. Compared with the crown of my Avenger or with the crown of my Carrera, those are grippy ones, those are nice ones, but this one, not really. Still, I love this piece. It's the most classical watch. I think it's the one which is going to age nicely with me in the collection, thanks to the dial and thanks to the beautiful aluminum bezel inlay. Still a big favorite, still a watch I like to wear a lot and definitely a keeper in my collection. The old lady in my collection. Unbelievable, my friends, but 10 years. In July 2021, this watch is going to be 10 years in my collection without service, but I think in 2021 it's due for a service. It's still running strong, before about 2 to 3 seconds in plus, now 1 to 2 seconds in minus. And what I really like about this watch is that it's discontinued. It's the last steel and yellow gold GMT Master which was produced. Right now you can find the GMT Master in steel or instead Everose gold or full Everose gold. On my wrist I don't like how the Everose gold looks. It's a beautiful watch on other wrists. On mine I prefer yellow gold, to be honest. It's still going strong. The first luxury watch in my collection and the first Rolex in my collection, and I still treasure this piece quite a lot. Okay, I do own the GMT Master from Rolex, I do own the Speedmaster from Omega, 2 masters so far, so it did make sense for me to purchase another icon, which I did in December 2020, the Heuer Carrera 43mm caliber 16 with date complication, and this one is going to be a tough competitor for the Breitling Avenger in 2021, I guess. I like how it feels on the wrist. It's a little bit flatter than the Breitling. White dial, which was missing since I did sell my Grand SEIKO in the middle of this year, and definitely a beautiful watch. I'm happy that I could add it. It's totally different to the other Bose chronographs and a watch I really like to wear on my wrist. Well, and the watch with the last wrist time in 2020, it's my SEIKO Turtle Great White Shark Special Edition, the one watch I did purchase last year during our honeymoon in Tokyo, Japan. It was a great purchasing experience. Unfortunately, I did purchase this piece for traveling and holidays, and guess what I didn't do in 2020. Anyways, I do wear it on the Uncle SEIKO Jubilee bracelet, and I think it's a shame that SEIKO doesn't offer any more Jubilee bracelet for their watches, especially for their divers, because I think it's a very good looking piece on a Jubilee. I have sort of a beef leave with a regular SEIKO turtle bracelet. On the Jubilee it works very well. It's a nice summer watch, it's a fun watch, and I definitely have to wear it more in 2021. Wait, you have purchased the Apple Watch this year and made a review about it, huh? Didn't wear that one, huh? Did you? Well, I'm glad that you asked that. To be honest, I just purchased the Apple Watch for making sport, and I don't make so much sport at the moment, to be honest with you. Still, when I work out, I did wear it, and sometimes when I leave the house on the weekend, I as well throw it on the wrist, but combined all the wrist time together, it was still less than the SEIKO Turtle. So I didn't consider this in this review, as it's not my daily carry watch, it's just my sport watch. And the one watch which had to leave my collection was unfortunately my Grand Seiko SBG X259, a beautiful piece, great finish, crisp white dial, 9F quartz movement, a really stunning watch, and I'm a little bit sad to let her go. And I'm not done with Grand Seiko, but this is what we're going to discuss next year. Anyways, with purchasing my Carrera, I know what feels better on my wrist. I think it was a little bit related also to the size. Also, the watch is very elegant, very dressy, and this is just not my style. So what is going to come in 2021? This we're going to discuss right now. I did separate this in two parts. On the one hand, the more dressy inspired watches. On the other hand, the sporty, rough, tough, big, thick watches, starting here with the more dressy variation of an IWC, here especially IWC Genta inspired version and not the current bullshit they have. I do talk here about the 40mm, 10.5mm high white dial rose gold hands and indices variation, the last real Genta inspired produced piece by IWC, and love the bracelets they did use there. IWC was really ahead of the time. They did present also, I think 2010, 2011, a great bracelet for the IWC engineer, where you have a quick release system for the links, where you can fasten the links or the bracelet very easy with a pin. This is innovation, and I think IWC Genta inspired engineer is a beautiful watch. Watch number 2 on the list comes from Hublot, and my friends, unfortunately it's not the Spirit of Big Bang for that price, but let's check out the more classical option. Talking about the Classic Fusion, I really like this one, preferred with a gray or silver style dial in 42 or 45mm with a rubber strap, not the rubber leather strap mix I do offer. And I think this is a pretty cool piece, but for this price point you're just going to get an Zelita SW300, which is sort of a bummer. So if we do talk about Hublot and the Classic Fusion, we have also to address, of course, the Zenith Defy. Here I do like the version with a skeletonized dial, and of course this one on a titanium bracelet. I still cannot understand why Hublot doesn't use for the Classic Fusion line the Elite movement. This would be a fusion! But anyways, it is how it is, and I do have a thing also for the Zenith. I could lay my hand on it last year on a watch event my good friend Marcus did organize, and it's a stunner, and I also can imagine this particular piece in my collection. I mentioned before that I'm still not done with Grand Seiko, and on my wish list for 2021 is also the Grand Seiko SBG A373, a spring drive Grand Seiko with a slight bigger case, silver dial, blue second hand, pretty beauty, and for this price point you get a lot. This actually is great craftsmanship from Japan, and I really do like how this watch does look. As well, the Cartier Santos is on my wish list, but when I do talk Santos, I do talk two-tone, and $9,000! Pooh! This one is expensive. As I mentioned, if I do purchase a Santos, I need to purchase the two-tone version. So let's address now the more rough, tough, sporty variations I do consider for 2021, which are actually a problem because two of them do come from Omega, and I have already an Omega in my collection. Do collect according to the philosophy one brand, one watch. Well, maybe this is not going to work out for 2021 anymore, because I consider the Omega Planet Ocean 43.5mm dive watch, or also from Omega, the Planet Ocean 45.5mm chronograph. Both of them with the orange highlights on the dial and on the bezel, because I think if I'm going to add a black dial, I need to have something else. This orange hint of color does look pretty good, and I would like to get them on the rubber strap additionally, as I do think they do look great on the bracelet, but even better on the rubber strap. So this is what I'm considering from Omega as a sports watch. The other dive watch I like to consider is a Tudor Black Bay, here with a red or the blue bezel inlay. Purchasing it on a bracelet, but I think I would throw it on the original leather strap. I just think the Black Bay looks pretty good on the strap. and I would like to have something else than just bracelets in my collection. I think it's an interesting watch, great in-house movement, and if I add a diver, this is definitely an interesting variation. And last but not least, another two-door. Here I do talk about the two-door Black Bay 41, so the non-diver 41mm Black Bay with a shiny black dial on the bracelet, of course. I think it's a pretty interesting piece. No in-house movement, but with a Zelita movement inside. Still, I think a beautiful watch, which could add nicely to my collection. Alright my friends, this concludes my watch collection update 2020. I'm eager to learn about your opinion. What do you think about my current collection? What do you think about my wish list? Leave a comment in the comment section below. My friends, have a great rest of the week. An awesome start into 2021. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next one. I say goodbye and auf Wiedersehen. Euer Konstantin. Ciao my friends.